This is another episode of the exciting series Upcoming Mods. This is where I show you currently work in progress mods by different mod authors in the community, where the intro gets so redundant that I try and change it up but normally fail. Actually, at the end of this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently, so if you want to watch to the end and find out what that thing is, you can. You know, the suspense must be killing you, but otherwise, we're just going to jump into the regular video. There's not a ton to say about this one. So to start things off, we actually have an image of the Recharger R. This is something that you did have in some of the previous Fallouts, or just one previous Fallout, that being Fallout New Vegas. It was actually a pretty special thing in that game, and there's two variants of this, the Recharger R and the Recharger P, each of them having their own kind of functionality. So as you can guess by the title, the special part of the Recharger R is it was equipped with a microfusion breeder that would automatically make you regenerate ammo. So if you took this out, fired it a few times, you wouldn't have to reload it or put anything new into it, it would just naturally start recharging some of its ammo. The trade-off being that it actually took 1 second per shot, this one having a 7-shot capacity, so it takes 7 seconds after dumping your entire clip or magazine. I don't actually know what you'd call it in this case because it doesn't really have either of those, but either way, it was a pretty interesting design. There was also the Recharger P, which this mod author is also working on. As you can see, it's a more compact version, and this one had a 20 ammo capacity, but also 1 second per shot, so 20 seconds. The Recharger P was meant to be the more updated and newer version because naturally, 20 shots will last you a lot longer, and hopefully you could take down whatever enemy you do encounter with those, where 7, you may not actually be able to take someone down, especially considering you'll miss. Well, actually, no, you probably are all super pros, so you won't, but I would miss. It's a pretty interesting one. I'm excited to get it in Fallout 4. It has an interesting story and concept behind it, and yeah, hopefully the implementation is done right because I think it could be a good one to download. Then we do have the Magpul FMG9. This is a real-world piece of equipment that you may have seen in some other video games, or there's like a popular airsoft version, I know. More or less what it's going to be is a very compact piece of equipment. As you can see on some of the different pieces, this actually folds up into something that is very carryable and mobile. This is a work in progress by Nova Finch. That's actually the guy working on the Halo pack, and he basically says what he's doing for the Halo pack is largely done, so he decided to try and release this before the Halo pack if he could find someone to animate it. Shout out to all you animators out there. He's looking for someone. As you can see in the background, there's a ton of cool skins going on for this, but also some really cool attachments. A Pringles can, which I'm surprised no one's thought of this before. That's an awesome idea. I'd love to also see like a water bottle. I think that would also be very fitting. But either way, this is coming together really nicely and looks awesome. Compact SMGs or just really any piece of equipment of this size is pretty sparse in Fallout 4. We don't have a ton of options in this category, so I think it'll be a great addition. Then we actually have an update to the Age of Airships. This is going to be an up-and-coming mod for Fallout 4 on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 apparently. I did not know that was going to be one of the releases for this. As you can probably guess, it's going to add in these airships over the Commonwealth, one of them being notably over Nuka World. We have a bunch of exterior shots of the ship, which we have seen many times now, and I've shown you them a bunch of the times, so we're actually going to focus more on the interior shots in this one, where he actually has real-world comparison photos, showing just really the level of detail he went with this, and it looks good. It looks really similar to the real-world variant, which is pretty cool to see, actually. All around, this is a very exciting mod. It's very different. It's going to be a player home of sorts, something that you could potentially move around in, which is really awesome. Like, imagine having you and a bunch of your companions living in this thing. Like, that just sounds really freaking cool. It's been a work in progress for quite a while, but it definitely seems like, especially with this iteration, we are getting very close to release, so that's something to be excited for. Also, I imagine a lot of you guys that are actually into airships will be happy to see how much attention to detail he did pay, especially to those real-world shots. I think that's something really cool and something not too many mod authors actually do. Then we actually have a preview of the new update coming to Gunmetalw skins. This is a mod I did show you a while ago. As you could probably guess, it's adding in a bunch of skins for the pieces of equipment in Fallout 4, as you can see in the background of this one. More or less, he was kind of mentioning in a Reddit post how, you know, why buy the Creation Club variant when you can just use his mod for free? And he has a really good point, because looking at these skins, the various different pieces of equipment you can apply them to, it's really compelling to use this and save your money. There are a ton of different skins here, all of them looking very cool and very fascinating. A lot of them fitting into Fallout 4 really well, some of them not, but being inspired from some of the other video games out there. And I really like what I'm seeing. There's a ton of content here. I'm probably not going to get to show you all of the images, so I'll have a link to his Reddit post down below where you can upvote it so this mod does get more attention, but also of course see the full album of images, which I highly recommend you guys do check out. So we actually have the image you probably clicked on this video for, and that being the Hulkbuster. So someone is working on a Hulkbuster for Fallout 4, as you could probably guess. When I saw the Hulkbuster in the movie and saw Fallout 4's power armor, that connection was instantly made for me. It just made sense for that kind of armor to appear on power armor in Fallout 4, and I've kind of wanted it ever since. We got that Iron Man power armor a while ago, but nothing quite like this. As you can see, it's very work in progress. There's actually a video for a Skyrim mod adding in a Hulkbuster, which isn't publicly released, or at least I couldn't find it. I think it might be using ripped out assets, but this one obviously is being built from the ground up, and hopefully something will actually get to download. It looks amazing, and even though this is the Skyrim one, it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what it's like to experience this in game. Maybe all those different effects and animations won't be there, but I think this is going to be a great example of how power armor could be used as a vehicle, and we haven't seen a ton of power armor mods over the past few months, and I think this could be a great one to kind of start off a new era of power armor modding. If you want to see more of this awesomeness or request the mods to be released from this video maker, I will have a link to it down below in the description. Go check it out, give a like, subscribe to the guy's channel. But now the thing I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video. So something I just wanted to include in my videos for fun, maybe as a reward for those of you who watch to the end, is like psych fun facts. Some of you guys may know this, but I'm actually getting a bachelor's degree in psych right now. I'm almost done. I actually could have graduated this semester, but you know, I'm doing YouTube, so I'm not going to do grad school just yet. So I figured I'd prolong it a little bit, take an easier course load, but that's not really the point of this. More or less, I just want to, in each video, share something interesting I learned in psychology. It's actually really interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And to be clear, in this, as I hopefully will do it in each video, I don't want to use like popular press or magazines or things like that. I'm going to use peer-reviewed journals. These are like true things that exist in psychology and thus in the real world, not like myths or rumors or things people think. So the first thing I actually want to talk to you guys about is the nocebo effect. So this is this really interesting thing. You've probably heard of the placebo effect, and that's basically when you take a pill, you have a positive result as a result of that because you mentally think, okay, this pill is going to cure me, even though the pill might do nothing. And actually, just to build off that, they actually made placebos that give you side effects only because it furthers the placebo effect. A technical definition that I did find in one of the articles I was reading is, nocebo effects are adverse events produced by negative expectations and represent the negative side of placebo effects. So let's say you go to the doctor, go to the psychologist, whatever it may be, to see them for something that's bothering you, and you are really worried about that pill they're going to give you. Well, that could actually affect you in a negative way. One great example of this, although this is not backed by research, but just to kind of explain this effect to you, is let's say you're someone that is a hardcore anti-vaxxer but are forced to get a vaccine or pressured into getting a vaccine later in life. If your beliefs and expectations of vaccines are that it's actually going to harm you, that could happen even though the vaccine itself would do nothing to harm you. Your mind could basically cause you to be sick or even in some cases die. And yeah, there's actually been instances where people died due to the nocebo effect. There's this guy named Walter Cannon in the 40s. He actually did research into this. And in his studies, what he saw was basically, let's say you were a super religious person and broke one of those religious ideals, or maybe one of the like commandments or testaments that you're supposed to abide by. Following that, you will actually slowly deteriorate and eventually die due to the belief that, you know, there was a religion or higher power that didn't want you on this earth anymore as a result of those actions. Depending on how religious you are or aren't, you obviously would believe that there's no higher power and this is just all done due to your mind kind of doing it to yourself. Either way, something really interesting. This one was fairly long. I kind of envisioned this being a little bit shorter, but I really just want to know, do you guys want to hear more of this? I asked you on Twitter and a lot of you said yes. I think it'd be something pretty interesting, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below. That's pretty much it. As always, again, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.